Oh, got some iced tea. I don't really drink coffee, but sometimes I need a little caffeine just to help my brain clear. I wanted to tell you about the millionaire that I dated. Twice, actually. Same guy. Second time was kind of a worse situation, but I don't know if I'll ever learn that people don't change, but so far it's been proven true that people do not change. We met on a dating app. He seemed nice enough. Single, no kids. Always kind of wanted a family. And, you know, all the boxes checked, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone out with him. So we dated for a few months over a summer. And I don't truly remember too much about it, aside from he was a good conversationalist. The dates were always nice. He was very respectful. He was a little timid, but that's fine. He just didn't really, things just didn't progress in a meaningful way, I guess. We'll just say it that way. There were certain encounters that were not exactly what I was hoping for, and there didn't seem to be any openness to kind of adjust some of those things. And I mean, he seemed very gung-ho about being together, but I wanted to take it a little bit slower because I didn't know him really that well enough to even introduce him to my kids yet, let alone move in, right? So he had a beautiful house on the water, a boat. He was very successful. He'd done very well for himself. He was lonely, obviously, and he wanted, to like just jump in. It seemed like he wanted to just jump into my life that was already like established, but he didn't have like his own life. And I don't know if it's like semantics, but I'm really looking to join my life with somebody else's life. I don't just want to like provide all of the parts of life. I don't know. There was just something that was just a little bit off. Like I felt like he was pushing too hard, and I didn't really spend that much time with him the first time around. Like it didn't last that long. And I was in this space where, I had a lot of stuff going on. So I didn't just stop dating him. I stopped dating for a while. After a few years, we kind of reconnected again, and I was like, oh, I wonder if he's different, because there were parts of it that were good, and, maybe people grow and people change. So I thought, oh, maybe something might work better this time around. There weren't the same issues, but there were definitely some red flags. I spent more intentional time with him the second time around. And I will preface this with the fact that I was diagnosed with breast cancer like a month or so after we started dating again. And he was very kind, very supportive, very understanding, at least verbally. There was no active support, but he also wasn't like shying away from the situation at all. When I was diagnosed and before like I had a chance to really process, he was like, let's go out on the boat, let's clear your head, let's just give you a good day to like get through some of this before you start talking to friends and family. And so I mean, there was definitely some attempt at care and connection, and I want to be clear that he's not like a bad guy all around. I just think that he is lonely and a little bit sensitive about some of his past rejections, and he probably like puts that out in like an unhealthy way. Instead of processing it, he's like holding other people accountable for past pain, right? Which we all can sort of sometimes tend to do. But when you get to a certain age, you would think that you would have had time to work through it. I don't know. I guess we all have our own blind spots about our own character, right? So he was again like, I really want you to move in. He even to the point wanted like had a contractor over to see if he could like change the closet and make space for another person. Like he was very serious about moving forward, but again, it was only a few weeks in, and I just wasn't so sure about that. I did lean into like parts of the relationship. We were exclusive. We did spend some really intentional quality time together. But there were a couple red flags that were just having me unsure if this was really the good guy that he was like portraying. His mom wasn't doing well, and like memory issues or just like getting older, that kind of thing. You know how older people don't always remember things and they get a little bit stuck in their ways. To her face, he would be like loving and kind, but then he'd hang up the phone and like completely badmouth her, swear, and get angry that she needed his help. And I was just like, if you're acting like that to your own mom, who like gave you her whole life, and whether or not she was a good mom or not, like the greatest of moms or like a mediocre mom, she doesn't deserve to be treated that way, like that two-faced kind of way. She should have honesty. If you don't want to help her, then don't help her. Let her know that it's not within your capacity, but don't like pretend you're this loving son and then totally turn on her behind her back. That rubbed me the wrong way. And then there was another time where he invited me over for dinner. We were supposed to go get the supplies together and like cook, like make a date of it, you know, making the food together. And he said that he was going to get all the ingredients and it would be great. And we had all these plans, like to spend the evening outside. It was beautiful by the lake, and just like really enjoy each other's company. And I show up and he's like, oh, basically he kind of forgot all about it. And he's like, well, do you just want to find something and cook for me? No, I'm an accomplished cook. Like, I know my way around the kitchen, but that's not what we agreed on. And I'm not interested in just showing up at the end of my day working and taking care of kids. Like, if I was going to cook, I would have stayed home. You invited me over here to do something together, and I want to see how we would be together in this scenario. And so he ordered food in, and he no longer wanted to go outside or go do any of the adventures that we talked about. He just wanted to sit on the couch and watch TV, which was code for you know what. So I was like, this is not what he presented in the beginning. It felt like a bait and switch, and he's like pushing me to like jump into this situation and move in and like move my whole life and be fully reliant on him, but he's not maintaining what he is portraying. Like, he's just not. He'll talk about people behind their back and say these terrible things, but then to their face be completely nice. So I was going through a lot, trying to grapple with my breast cancer diagnosis and all the things that I was about to face. And honestly, that night just rubbed me the wrong way. I wasn't attracted to him anymore after he kind of pulled that bait and switch of like, let's do this and we'll do this instead. I pulled back a little bit. He did not respond well. He started treating me like he'd been treating, everybody else, and saying terrible things about me, and just like criticizing everything. And so I was like, you know what? I was open to discussing this and seeing if there could be some sort of compromise, but the fact that I'm stepping back a little bit and then you are attacking me is, no, I'm just not up for it anymore. I don't think it's going to be worth my time. So wish you well, move on. Well, he wasn't okay with that. And he kept trying to reach out through several different scenarios, every single type of communication. And I kept saying, I'm not interested. Please leave me alone. And he just kept at it. And finally I said, I need you to stop contacting me. I am not interested. That's not going to change. And if you continue contacting me, I will have to pursue a restraining order because you will not stop. Oh, he just let me have it. I didn't respond to him after that message. And I didn't hear from him again after that. But I found out later something kind of funny. Stay tuned for part 2. I'll post right away.